And go. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world, this is Brian Patrick here. And who I have with me is Dean Jackson. Dean Jackson, introduce yourself and share something beautiful with us.
Man, thank you, Brian Patrick. I appreciate you, bro. Shit. Okay. Well, you say introduce myself. I'm Dean Jackson, obviously from Detroit, Michigan, originally. Um, and then ended up moving to Atlanta many years later when I was 24, and then stayed there until I moved out here to San Jose, California, 2021. Um, Recently published author in this past year. What can I say? Have a great love for the finer things in life, in other words, in terms of helping me to manifest that for myself and also helping others to manifest more of the beauty of what life has to offer. That's really my passion in the greater scheme of things, is knowing that we can have our heaven on earth. We can have our cake and eat it too in the here and now, and just hopefully being a channel to help that um, come into existence for others. But yeah, that's a large part of what I'm into or what I'm about. Kind of simple, just trying to live simply and enjoy the beauty of life. And that is a simple experience and simple process, I guess.
I'm I'm hearing simple. Think
Yeah, I think, in our humanity or in our own intellectual brilliance, we try to, many of us anyway, try to reinvent the wheel. And it's like, no, there's nothing new under the sun. Just
mm,
get fresh air,
mm,
eat good food, have great relationships, especially if it's intimate sexual
mm.
relationships. Hopefully they're fulfilling and long lasting and all of that. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, get your rest, minimize your stress level, and read a good book every now and then. You know what I mean? Have great sex. I mean, it's simple stuff. It ain't
Simple
rocket
stuff.
science. It's just that we live in a very unnatural world to
Mm.
where it can be a challenge to get into that harmonious rhythm of things. And I think I would, in the way that the creator meant for us to be able to experience it.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. So, man, six-letter word, big, big impact, big, wide, large. It
And
says
did I answer your question? No, I don't know if that was a part of what your initial inquiry
no.
was.
Uh, don't you have your script?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't have mine.
Yeah.
Oh, sharing something beautiful with us, and I believe you delivered upon that. So
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay,
this
cool.
is so for those of you who just joining us, we have improv comedy. We have improv
Oh,
comedy and improv
yeah.
interview. Uh,
Yes, sir.
oh, so yeah, so Dean, you are known as the uneducated food scientist.
Yes, sir.
And the last time I looked at the news, um, I just saw you're on stage. There's just
Yeah.
people, mainly women, just screaming. It was like the Beatles. You came out
Yeah.
and you're like today, and like you couldn't even get a word in. It's just like there's this deafening roar to screams, and is that what happened? You were there. I was reading.
Are you talking about the karaoke?
Well, it was kind of like that.
Oh,
So Dean, tell me what is the story that what is the story the origin story? Where did uneducated food scientists come from?
oh, it's a great question. And it's funny too. I used to work at Ace Hardware back in Atlanta, and one of the ladies, she was Filipino, short, very attractive woman. But anyway, she was young though. I don't know, she was, I don't know, maybe 20 something or whatever. But anyway, she was a chef and she got laid off during COVID. And so she took a job in the paint department. I don't know, not sure what led her on that path, but I guess she was just trying to get money, right? And so I was working in the plumbing department. I would
She
come
was
over and
short.
yeah,
That's probably good for shaking the paint, you know, just like
yeah, well
lower center of gravity.
they have machines for that. But anyway, the point is golly, I forget her name. But one day I was talking to her because we used to talk about food all the time because, she's a former chef. I guess she actually went back to being a chef right around the time I was leaving to move to California. She was leaving Ace Hardware to get back into her field of being a chef because, things are open back up, with things dying down after COVID. And and so one day we were talking and I forget what my old title used to be on Instagram. I think it was Dean the Nutritionist or something like that. Yeah, I changed the names a couple different times. But anyway, we were talking and she was like, "You're not Dean the Nutritionist, you're a food scientist." And I
Oh,
was like,
geez.
I
Wow.
was like,
Wow.
because we would always talk about food, and I'm,
Wow.
like even last night I do my meal
Dude.
prep, and I'm talking to my housemates who are better cooks than I am at this point, and they were like, just make sure you taste as you go along. My mom has told me that for years,
Mm.
and then even my old housemate, Suzanne, and fellow graduate with Landmark. Technically, I guess you could say she was my landlord. I don't like to use that term because nobody lords over me except the Lord
Mm.
himself or the Most High. But anyway, the point is, she was saying, read a recipe 3 times, make sure you got all the ingredients, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
like
And
that.
so
Measure twice, cut once.
there you go. But a part of what happened when I was having that conversation with the young lady that used to work with Ace Hardware, when she said that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. I'm the uneducated food scientist because I am literally, I don't have a college degree. I don't have a nutrition certification. I'm not a certified life coach in terms of going through anybody's program or anything like that. I just have my life experience. That is my certification. The stories that I talk about and the things that inspire me to want to learn more about food all come from knowing that a lot of men, and I would assert in today's day and time, a lot of women are still not having success in the kitchen. So
Mm.
I'm like, how can we be better at
Mm.
marrying ingredients together and getting back in the kitchen and having fun, making food enjoyable, and cooking with love? I mean, the intention that we prepare our food with has so much to do with how well it tastes or the lack thereof. And so yeah, the food scientist, and then I put the on there because there's a guy
Mm.
that I used to follow on Instagram, uneducated economist was his name.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna take that
Mm.
and I'm gonna put a spin on it for my title, I just put the in front of mine. He just has uneducated economist. And then I just put the in front of mine. So the uneducated food. It's a long name. But it rings, I was like, even my book title is really long, and I would like for it to be shorter. But in the moment, that's just what occurred to me is like the perfect title for the book.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
it's kind of a microcosm, I guess, for who I am and how I can be long-winded, and that I need to work on shortening things, right?
So
So yeah.
you prefer like 3 course meals, 4 or 5 course meals. So it's not uh, you're not doing short, simple snacks, or is that something in the future to work on? This is really interesting. So having like the mindset, the play going on here. So you're talking about your long the uneducated
Hmm.
food scientist, like you've got to like have a tattoo down your leg, to get everything on there. So long-winded, you said, and whatnot. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh well, must be just huge. Like, these meals, if you're long-winded, the meals must follow like that. So when it,
No,
no, no,
actually,
no, no.
I'm gonna interject because a part of what's there is that really the goal, going back to what I was saying earlier about simple, right? Um, my goal is to have things be simple because I think a lot of times people get overwhelmed by complexity. I know I've had that issue, even when it comes to getting in the kitchen. I bought this recipe, one of the ladies I used to work with at Ace Hardware. knew about me because they kind of almost every job I've been on, they kind of know me as the health and nutrition guy or whatever. Or if you want to know something about what's healthy versus what's not, as Dean. And one lady bought me this book by this chef Jamie Oliver called The Five Ingredient Recipe Book or something. And what I love about it is the premise of it is only five ingredients because I think, most of us are pretty busy.
Mm,
And if we can have it be simple in terms of the meal prep that we have to do, and to have it, of course, still have a good taste
mm,
and be very nourishing, that is the ultimate. And I think a lot of times that's where I have been stopped because if I had recipe books prior, they might have had like eight or nine, maybe 10 ingredients. And it just felt overwhelming. When you're
mm,
learning how to cook,
mm.
you're trying to build that muscle and become proficient at it. It's one of those things to simplify it. I think even after you've been doing it for years is I would think in my mind, a much more preferable way of doing things. Now, when you have more time, maybe when you're retired or if you're fortunate enough to be self-employed and you have a lot more free time, then you can do more elaborate recipes. But for people that are working a job, managing a household, dealing with children, you want it to be simple, get in, get out, have it taste good, get the nourishment that you need, and be on to the next thing. So, the ultimate goal would be simple, recipes.
Simple recipes, man.
Excuse me.
I really like what you said there, uh, or what you're saying. With the simple recipes, like five ingredients, keeping them to a minimal. So uh, you mentioned earlier that when it comes to cooking, men, women, both, like what they're producing, if they're even cooking at all, and if they are, how's it taste? What's the nutritional value? What's being put in? Where are they sourcing their food? This, that, and the other. And
Mm.
there's a really great canned food farm. Dude, you should see these cans on the trees. They're amazing. So keeping it simple, so it's not overwhelming. So coming in, whether like fresh, so there's not in no intimidation. The no intimidation factor to getting the folks in the kitchen. Dude, I remember, okay, so speaking with you around the nutrition and then the relationships, specifically, of the intimate relationships. And so,
Yeah.
and I remember hearing, or perhaps I'm the wise one who, no, food, having, breaking bread, um, the tea, offering tea. There's I believe this is Middle Eastern and could be Asia, whatever. The first time it's you say hello. I think the second or third, like if you get invited in for tea, that's a pretty big deal. It's not giving
Yeah,
tea.
that's
There's
huge.
still
Yeah.
cultures and traditions. So you're talking about putting love into it, and it's cooked with capital L, LOVE. It's got the
hmm
love in it, which from the energetical stance of, so your intentions, where does the food come from, what's in it. I know that's a big part of where you're coming from, the awareness, the intention. And then so sharing a meal, how, and this I believe, so, and I know we've talked about this before, so a big deal, yet maybe not so much. I mean, that it can be intimate preparing a meal and having a meal with someone, and not intimate in the form of, sexually related intimate. And so definition intimate, just very intimate. Just it's there's definitely an ambiance, or energy. There's this, it's intimate, like we're having an intimate conversation right now. We're having
hmm
an intimate conversation and people are intimately listening or watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bridging, bringing, what does that look like, since we've had that conversation and your ideas where you've gone with it, where couples can like rekindle
hmm
their relationship, or bringing in or starting a new relationship. So at the base of that, where I'm going, was going, am going with that intimacy, that preparing a meal with someone and eating it with them can be intimate, yet as things have changed, we may I think there's a loss of connection, LOSS, with the food, and then so this goes to intention, right, and awareness. So
Yeah,
yeah, I know. I feel like a jaunt. All of this simple conversation and simple health, a journey out would be simple. So, folks, Dean and I will be having another conversation. He is, he's a rock star. He's the uneducated food scientist. So, will the real uneducated food scientist?
please stand up.
Yeah, yeah. So, Dean, we're gonna be we
No, no,
okay.
we got a little more time, so
Oh, yeah, yeah. I just so that was good, man. So for you out there, Dean's typing this message to me, being like all couth and everything. I tell you what, so um, the time we have together is precious. We've been having this intimate moment that people will be intimately listening or watching in on. So here's okay. Bottom line, Dean and I will be working together, bringing digital products and virtual online workshops around his expertise, right? And at the end of the day, or even the beginning, if it's breakfast, it's can you, it's getting the job done. Are you making the difference for the people? So not the licensure, the certification, all that. We're not, no explanation needed. Can you guide folks through and such? You have experience in the background in working with people. You've got your book. So what does it look like? Just off the top of your head, what does it look like moving forward into the world of promoting your book, working with the digital products around the uneducated food scientist and these virtual online workshops?
yeah, no, ultimately, yeah, the book on healthy living, 11 fundamental ways to create a balanced and fulfilling life, is my life's work, if you will, my passion. But ultimately, again, it's about getting the message out to folks to let them know that it's really just about enjoying your life. It's not rocket science. And a large part of what brings people together more so than anything is being able to sit down at the table and eat together. And the inspiration for my book was based on my grandparents and this big table that they used to have when we would go visit them in Chicago, Illinois. And we would all sit down together as a family and break bread and it was just like super cool. I was like, those are like some of my fondest memories as a
Mm,
child. And then years later, when they had to retire and move to a smaller apartment because they just couldn't keep going up and down that
mm,
3 flights of stairs, they ended up selling the table among
mm,
everything else that was there in the house. And when I found out about it, I think I was like maybe a freshman and going into high school. It was crushing. I was like, that was my whole world. I lived for that. And it was gone like that. And the next time I went back to Chicago, it was like they're in a totally different place. And it was just all
mm,
weird. I was like, what? This is
mm,
not what I remember. But that was really my inspiration for the book is just knowing that to be able to get the message out to folks and say, hey, find out where your food comes from if you can, eat simply, enjoy it with people that you love. And even if you're just eating by yourself, take your time, masticate your food. Eating as the one guy Osho, this mystic said, he said, sex is a meditation, eating is a meditation, walking is a meditation. I mean, everything is essentially a meditation, but that means being mindful. That means being present. That means being in the moment so that we can savor every morsel, every bite, and just, how precious that is because some people don't have access to quality food. I hate to say it, but most of America doesn't have
mm,
access to quality
mm,
food based on all of the chemicals and the poisons that they're putting in the stuff. So it's pretty sad. It's not like it was back in the day, maybe during the days of WKRP in Cincinnati or
Yeah,
whatever, old
nice.
TV shows, whatever. It was just a much healthier food supply. But ultimately the goal was just to continue to get the message out to say that, hey, folks, this is really the foundation of living a healthy life. And there's three things: food, clothing, and shelter. Food,
Mm,
being right there. And so if we have access to good quality food, that's one of the foundational principles that we can, employ, I guess, if, for lack of a better term, that helps us to live a better life. And that's really what the book is all about. It's a conversation piece to
mm,
hopefully get the conversation started to say, how can we be more present to what's not working
mm.
and implement what is going to work that allows us to live a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life.
Simply, simple, beautiful. Dean, are there recipes in the book?
There are no recipes. Actually, I had somebody, one of my housemates, one of her housemates, her boyfriend asked me that, like, I thought this was a book about food. I was like,
Mm.
no. It's like,
So,
most, a lot of people think that it's the book on healthy living, not necessarily the book on healthy recipes or whatever.
so
And
I
so it's
believe,
really,
yes.
it's really about, because to me it's more than food. It's those good endorphins that help to facilitate healing, and those good endorphins come from healthy interactions with people that we love and care about. The healthy dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, all of that is what
Mm.
facilitates healing. And so in a lot of ways, that's a large part of what I attempt to communicate in the book, is that that's what really is the foundational piece for us being healthy. And, I have a chapter on relationships and a chapter on money. As I call it, that's kind of like the Trinity. But I think that the main objective is having people understand we can have a good life, but a lot of it starts with the thoughts that we think and what we put in our body, and from there, everything else just kind of takes on a life of its own.
Dean, thank you for sharing simply, clear, and precise.
And yeah, just to finish that thought, there are no
What's up?
recipes in the book, but it's hopefully inspiration to where
Dude.
you'll get back in the kitchen and find some simple recipes and start making some stuff with love and change your overall health and well-being.
So, okay, okay. So as we wrap this up, and one of the intentions for putting together this coaching crew here, Koechising, cha-ching, crew with a K and an E, like they do it in Nolans. Marira. So, Dean, some simple five ingredient meal prep and whatnot. I'm seeing these recipes and I'm seeing them as digital downloads and then expanding upon there. And of course, we've got your book and then taking a look at what we will can do with that in order to promote your mission, what you're up to, what people want to be up to, this simple living, awareness thinking, being mindful. So I have a plethora of ideas. I'm looking forward to exploring them with you. And you're up for putting on a virtual workshop. Bring some attendees
Yeah,
in,
what the
and
heck,
what the heck, why not? We'll keep it
Yeah,
simple,
for sure.
folks. No preparation needed.
Let's get her done.
So it's STAN.STORE/KOECHING. So thanks for listening, listeners out there, ladies and gentlemen of the world. Dean, thanks for your time, your sharing, and I look forward to what we're creating.
Thank you, BP. I appreciate it, man. You're a powerhouse, brother, and I'm grateful to have a chance to chat with you and help to be a listening for your greatness as you are
Thank
for
you.
mine. So
Thank you,
I
brother.
appreciate you, brother, and let's take it to the top.
Let's take it to the top. Let's take
Yes,
it to
sir.
the top. Dean, make a great day. Enjoy your trail, and a rising tide raises all ships. Let's
Hmm.
take it to the top. Wind in the sails. I for you, you for I. Such enjoy your hike, your day trip.
Yes, sir. I will, man. Thank you, brother. Talk to you
We'll,
soon.
we'll talk soon.
Take care.